Walk into a typical Japanese home built in the 1950s, and you would find a kitchen smaller than most modern bathrooms, no granite countertops, no double-door refrigerator, no drawer full of gadgets. And yet, the kitchen was always ready, always clean, always calm. Today, the average home has 3 times that storage space, and somehow the counters are buried, the cupboards will not close, and the refrigerator holds more forgotten leftovers than actual meals. It was not the kitchens that changed for the worse, it was the habits we stopped passing down. These are 10 of them. Number 10. There is a Japanese word, Mottainai, that has no direct translation in English. The closest you can get is what a waste of something precious. In the post-war Japanese home, nothing left the kitchen unused. Vegetable peels became broth. Leftover rice became the next morning's okayu. The last scraps of fish were flaked into soup. This was not frugality. It was a philosophy. Every ingredient that came through the door was treated as something valuable enough to honor completely. Modern kitchens throw away an estimated 30% of all food purchased. In the Showa kitchen, that number would have been unthinkable, not because families could not afford waste, but because Mottainai meant waste itself was considered disrespectful. When everything has a purpose, you always know what is inside the refrigerator because everything inside deserves to be there. Number 9. Open the average kitchen drawer today and count what is inside. Spatulas in 4 sizes, a garlic press used twice, 3 whisks, gadgets still in their packaging. A Japanese housewife in the 1950s ran her entire kitchen with perhaps 8 tools, a good knife, the hocho, sharpened regularly on a whetstone, a wooden rice paddle, cooking chopsticks, 1 iron pot, 1 small saucepan, 1 bamboo steamer. That was essentially everything. And with those tools, she produced every meal from scratch, every single day. The tools were not cheap, but they were chosen for life, not for convenience. A well-maintained hoko passes from mother to daughter. A cast iron pot seasons itself deeper with every meal. When each tool does many jobs and is cared for properly, you need very few of them, and when you need very few, there is nothing to clutter a drawer, nothing to dig through, nothing to replace. Number 8. In the Showa kitchen, the counter was sacred, not because it looked beautiful, but because it was needed. The rice cooker came out at mealtime and went away. The cutting board was used, washed, and stood upright to dry. Nothing lived permanently on the counter that was not used every single day. Today, kitchen counters have become display shelves, a stand mixer parked in the corner, a knife block, a fruit bowl, an espresso machine. By the time everything is arranged beautifully, there is barely room left to actually prepare a meal. The principle was simple. If you are not using it right now, it does not belong on the counter. The surface was for working, not displaying. Number 7. There were no dishwashers in the post-war Japanese home. Every bowl, every pot, every pair of chopsticks was washed by hand, dried by hand, and returned to its exact place 3 times a day. The routine was not a chore. It was simply the conclusion of every meal, as automatic as putting on shoes before leaving the house. But what this discipline protected was more than clean dishes. A clear sink kept the surrounding space clear. When the sink fills, the overflow lands on every nearby surface. The cutting board leans against the wall. The cloth stays damp on the counter. The clutter spreads like a slow tide. The sink was the anchor of the kitchen. Lose the anchor, and everything drifted. Number 6. Every evening in the Showa home, after the dishes were done and the leftovers packed away, there was one final step. The counters were wiped. The stove was cleaned, the floor was swept, the kitchen cloth was rinsed, wrung out, and hung to dry. The kitchen that greeted the family in the morning was exactly the kitchen that had been put to sleep the night before. Empty, calm, ready. The Japanese concept of ma, the value of empty space, was not just an aesthetic principle. It was a daily lived practice. The nightly reset took perhaps 15 minutes. It cost nothing, required nothing, and protected everything. Number 5. In the Showa kitchen, scissors did not migrate, the rice paddle did not travel. The whetstone lived in the second drawer, and it was always in the second drawer. Every item had a specific permanent address, not because anyone had read an organizing book, but because when space is limited, losing things is not an option. You did not search for the can opener, because it was always on its hook. You did not dig for the measuring cup, because it was always nested in its bowl on the third shelf. Modern homes suffer from what might be called object drift. Items float from surface to surface, because nobody ever assigned them a home. The result is a kitchen where you own everything and can find nothing. One home for every item, non-negotiable. Number 4. Monday was miso soup and rice, Tuesday was grilled fish, Wednesday was simmered vegetables, Thursday was tofu, Friday was whatever needed using before the weekend market. The weekly meal plan in the Showa home was not written in an app. It was pinned to the wall in pencil, consulted every morning, and followed without drama. When you know exactly what you are cooking every day of the week, your shopping list writes itself. Your pantry stays lean because you are only stocking what you have already planned to use. There is no standing in front of an open refrigerator at 5:30, wondering what to make, which is exactly the moment convenience food starts to look attractive. That pencil-written menu on the wall was the first thing she saw every morning, a quiet reminder of the week already decided, already handled. Japanese grandmothers did not call it meal planning, they just called it Tuesday. Number 3. Open a modern pantry and you will see a landscape of competing shapes, boxes, bags, pouches, tubs. Nothing stacks neatly, because packaging is designed to catch your eye in the shop, not to live efficiently on a shelf at home. The Showa housewife solved this without a single trip to a storage shop. Rice went into a ceramic canister, miso paste into a lidded clay pot, dried goods into matching glass jars, labeled in her own handwriting. Everything on the shelf was the same height, the same shape, the same quiet order. Uniform containers do not just look better, they genuinely hold more in the same space by eliminating the gaps and dead zones that irregular packaging creates. And when you can see clearly how much of something you have, you never accidentally buy a second bag because the first one was buried behind something else. Number 2. When the kitchen knife grew dull, it was sharpened. When the lacquer on a bowl chipped, it was repaired, sometimes with Kintsugi, the Japanese art of mending with gold, turning the crack into something more beautiful than the original. Nothing was discarded because it showed wear. Wear was proof it had earned its place. Modern kitchens accumulate partly because the replacement cycle never stops. The slightly worn spatula is replaced, but the old one stays in the drawer beside the new one. The dull knife gets a companion, but both stay. Nothing leaves, and so the drawers slowly fill. In the Showa kitchen, a good knife lasted a lifetime. A cast-iron pot was passed down a generation. The bamboo steamer darkened with use, and became more itself. There is something honest about a kitchen where everything has been earned through years of daily use. That honesty is worth returning to. Number 1. Twice a year, once in spring, once before the new year, the Showa kitchen was emptied completely. Every shelf cleared, every drawer pulled out and wiped, every item held in hand, and a simple question asked: did I use this in the past 6 months? If the answer was no, the item left. This was not decluttering as a trend. It was a ritual as old as the culture itself, connected to the Japanese tradition of o-soji, the great cleaning that prepares the home to receive the new year with fresh energy. The seasonal purge was the habit that kept all the other habits honest. Even the most disciplined kitchen will slowly drift over 12 months. The purge caught the drift and returned everything to baseline. Without it, order slowly erodes. With it, the reset is guaranteed. Looking back at these 10 habits, a pattern appears. None of them required money. None required a renovation or a new storage system or a weekend spent buying matching bins. They were simply small daily disciplines repeated so consistently that they became invisible, folded into the rhythm of ordinary life, the way breathing is folded into waking. The cluttered modern home has less to do with space than we think. The real issue is rhythm. We stop doing the small things every day and slowly, almost without noticing, the mess filled in behind us. But rhythms can be rebuilt, not all at once. Just one small habit folded into the morning or the evening the way it was always done. The way the women before us made it look so effortless that we forgot it was a skill at all. If this felt like something worth keeping, consider subscribing. Every week we travel to a different culture and a different era to bring back the quiet habits that the modern world forgot. See you in next video.